What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Knicks versus Pistons post-game show for Game 3. I am your host, Troy, and I appreciate you guys joining the live stream. Shout out to the chat gang. Shout out to Knicks Nation. I see you guys as well, too. Taking care of a few business things here first. If you guys enjoy the content and you're loving all the things that you're seeing, please do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed already. We are trying to raise our subscriber count each and every day, and we could really use your support. We're about at 52% of people watching this video right now who are subscribed to the channel. We're always trying to get that number up there. So if you're enjoying the content, please hit that subscribe button and have notifications on as well too. So that way you don't miss any of our new videos or anytime we go live like right now. So before I get into the game, because you guys know I will be getting into the game and talking to you guys, getting into your take. But the video has a title. You guys watch the game. So we're going to start exactly where everybody knows that we should start. What was that? What was that? I've watched basketball since I was a toddler, since I was a baby. I have never, ever seen a home team give their team another possession because of an error due to a clock malfunction. Never in my entire life have I ever seen that. Now, does it really matter in the grand scheme of things? No, because the Knicks have won that game. That is right. We win the game. We are up 2-1, won Game 3, the game we were supposed to win. That game is a series commanding game. Normally, if you're the team that wins Game 3, you're likely winning the series. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. But going back to it, do you hate us that much? Really? Do you hate us that much? Do you not want to see us win? Is it going against what you want to say the next day if you take away the game from the Knicks? Does it hurt what you're going to write for the headline the next day? Oh, well, too bad. You can't write it. You wanted to see the Knicks lose. You did everything in your power to see the Knicks lose. You want to know how I know that? The ball hits the rim. How is there still 0.5 seconds on the clock? The ball hits the rim. No seconds came off the clock. Not even 0.3. You gave them the full time back. Make it make sense to me. You can't. I already see it. I've spotted you. Hater. Hating on the Knicks. You didn't want us to win this game. You tried your best to make sure we couldn't win this game. But you know what happened? OG Anunoby turned on demon mode. You know what happened? Mikal Bridges figured out that he's still part of Wingstop, and he came to play. You know Jalen Brunson, the guy that everybody was complaining about that didn't pass the ball? Not only did he pass the ball, but he was one of the main people on the court finding other players. Josh Hart, well, you know what? He didn't score as high as the other players did, but what did he do? Almost got a triple-double for this Knicks team, stepping up in a way that only Josh Hart can. And I saved the best for last because I didn't mention his name, but I should right now. We won this game without a doubt. We don't win this game without Karl-Anthony Towns, his aggression, and that chip on his shoulder. Tobias! Are you there, Tobias? Are you watching? Is this not part of your end of game routine? Well, if you're not, you were talking a lot. Malik, talking a lot. Asor, talking a lot. By the way, both of those guys couldn't do anything for the Knicks, didn't do anything against us. And even though they had opportunity, they still couldn't get it done. Out of the way, I believe. What did he say again? Oh, yeah, that's right. Tobias, didn't you say that the Knicks being soft was part of your game plan? Was it part of your game plan to not do anything? Was it part of your game plan to get taken advantage of by Karl-Anthony Towns? Because it sounded like to me you were talking all of that trash because you thought you could handle him. And it turns out you can't handle a thing. You can't handle scoring. You can't handle defending. You can't handle anything. The Knicks went in to Little Caesars Arena like I told you they would, with the chip on their shoulder like I told you they would have. They were mad, already motivated. Thank you, by the way, for motivating the Knicks even further. And what did they proceed to do? From the first quarter to the last quarter, even though there were up and down moments, the Knicks were in control of this game. We took control. We took this game. And even though they battled back, the Knicks battled harder. We've been here before. We're battle tested. You guys don't remember the Cavs series? I remember it. Everybody started to doubt us then. Are you doubting us now? Yeah, I didn't think so. The post-game show starts now. I appreciate all you guys. Like I said before, if you haven't already hit the subscribe button, right now is your golden opportunity. It's right there. Hit that subscribe button and let's get started because we have so many things to cover, including tonight's game, breaking down key stats, and so many other things. I already said it, but let's set it the right time. I already said it, but let's say it the right way. Without further ado, guys, let's get started. The Knicks win game 3 after an odd call by the NBA. Well, I said it to start the show, but for anybody who's joining, the NBA tried to rob the Knicks. Now, why do I say they tried to rob the Knicks? Well, it's pretty simple. They tried to rob the Knicks. They gave Detroit an extra possession, no time off the clock, after an error that the Knicks did not make. I've watched basketball since some of you probably were going to middle school, maybe even beyond that. And I have never seen this in my life. But you know what? As hard as the NBA wants to try and steal these victories away from the Knicks, you know what's more powerful? The Knicks and what they want to achieve when they go into these games. You don't think they heard everything? Tobias Harris, the Knicks are soft. Malik Beasley, this is our series. We got this. They ain't that tough. Asor Thompson, Jalen Brunson really isn't that tough to defend. None. He doesn't give me any challenges. If anything, he just keeps selling fouls. So can you tell him to not sell fouls? Well, here's the funny part. Jalen Brunson wasn't even the star of this story. Even though when you look at the points, it'll look like that. The reason it looks like that is because Captain Clutch is always in the house and he's always available. We're going to break it down step by step. And we're going to inform you how the Knicks were able to annihilate the Pistons, up by as much as 13 points and then 10 points, and obviously going back and forth as postseason games will go. But when it came down to the wire and the Knicks tried to do the right thing, the NBA tried to rob us. Don't let them talk to you differently. The NBA tried to rob us, but the Knicks wouldn't allow it. Captain Clutch would not allow it. This Knicks team, locked in, focused, and got the job done. And now we control this series. We take the commanding lead. 2-1 on your head. On your head. Before I continue and go into every single stat, break down some of the key points for this game, you know I have to go to the chat. I have to break down your comments. I see you guys lit in the chat as well, too. So I want to get your take. So let's go ahead and do that really quickly. Let me get some water as well, too. Make sure we're actually seeing what we're supposed to see here. All right. Not sure why that happened. There we go. All right. Yuri says, so who's soft now? I don't know. Who's soft now? I'm pretty sure it's Detroit. Shout out to you, one of my favorite moderators, Yuri. David, let's go, Knicks. That's right. Let's go, New York. We are here. We took this game. That's what we were supposed to do. As a team on the road, what is your job? Steal one. And we already did it. And guess what? Now that we know we can do it, we're going to do it again. That's what the Knicks are built for. Keep talking, though. Keep talking. I love it. I love to hear the talking, because what has it done for you? Absolutely nothing. Josh says 60 combined points for JB and Karl-Anthony Towns. Our all-stars showed up and showed out. A little bit more on those guys a little bit later on in the show, but I promise you, we're going to break that down. Jose says, one more time, Captain Clutch shows up. And you know what? It's never going to be the only time. Captain Clutch always shows up. Big moment getter. That's what he is. He delivers on every level, at every stage, because that's who Jalen Brunson is. He is the captain. He is the point guard. As Clyde would say, he is the maestro. And he proved that tonight. Mike says, Piston fans left early and didn't stay for their team. You want to know why, Mike? You want to know why, as New Yorkers, we find that so horrible? It's because we would never do that. We would never do that for our team. Down 100. Knicks fans are in that building. But Detroit fans, you know what they proved tonight? Let me say this on the main screen, because I think everybody needs to hear it. Piston fans, do you know what you proved tonight to every single Knicks fan in the attendance and all Knicks fans watching this stream and any video? Is that you give up. You give up on your team. You're not ready for this. You're not built for this. You don't know what it feels like to be here. Don't tell me about traffic. Ain't nobody driving in Detroit right now. What's happening in Detroit? What's happening right now in Detroit that anybody cares about besides this game? Ain't nobody driving for a thing over there. You could have stayed, but you didn't because you don't believe in your team. Not at the same level as Knicks fans. You want to know why they say there are levels to this? Let me explain it to you. Levels. Detroit fans, Knicks fans. All day, every day, no ... period. We would never abandon our team. That's the difference. And that's why it's New York or nowhere. You don't understand it. You're not built like this. You're not built like this for this time, for the postseason. We are. We've been here before. We've been robbed before. They almost try to rob us again. But you can't take what we demand. You can't take what we earn. You can't take what we have built. Our time. Our time. Go back to the chat. FGC says they driving for Detroit-style pizza. Nobody driving for pizza. They gonna order at home. That's where they're headed. Home. They about to be home permanently. APAP says it's messed up that MSG won't be able to do playoff games next year. No more Mike and Clyde for the playoffs. I actually think it's no more Mike and Clyde for the rest of the rest of the postseason going forward. I think this series is the last. I might be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure they said it was the last. My guy Saw says, Troy, this dude Malik went like 1 for 10 from 3, LOL. He's been very quiet since game 1. He's going to stay quiet. What is he going to say? You saw what he did to OG Anunoby, but did anybody see that? Did anybody see the craziness that Malik Beasley did? Dunked the ball. They're down. They're down. He dunks the ball and points. And who does he point to? The demon. This guy has lost his mind. OG Anunoby destroyed everything they wanted to do tonight. Him and Mikal Bridges had that team on lock. One more comment, and then we're going to jump right into all of the comments, all of the action, first quarter breakdowns, all of that stuff. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's see. Who's going to get the last comment here? Capital One. I like that name, actually. Shout out to you. Great game. Must win. Commanding. My guy knows what he's talking about. Some people don't understand why I say commanding. Let me tell you why I say commanding. I've watched enough basketball in my life to know that the team that wins game 3 wins this series. This game was the most important game, in my opinion, for this series once the Pistons tied this series up. Now that the Knicks control this game, we control the series, and now we control our own destiny. We get to control where this series ends. If we win the next game, we get to close it out where we need to close it out. At MSG, at home. And I am waiting for this team to get there. But let's go ahead and break down some of the key stats that we have tonight. Before we can break down any key stats, what we have to talk about is the fact that the Knicks beat them down. I know the score seems close, 118 to 116. You're looking at this and you're saying to yourself, well, this game was close. Well, if you were watching it, it really wasn't that close. It was closer because the NBA tried to give this game to the Pistons. But the Knicks, they stood firm. They would not waver. They stood their ground, and they were able to pull out the victory. And as you can see there, the Knicks lead this series 2-1 on the Pistons. And as you can see, probably very worth the image. Karl-Anthony Towns showcasing every single sign he was showing tonight after hitting a number of threes, a number of fake out drives, a number of and ones. He was doing it all tonight. You could tell Karl-Anthony Towns, he heard everything that everybody said about him after game 2. He deserved it, by the way. When you no-show in a postseason game, you need to hear that. But credit where credit is due. What did he also do, like all-stars should do? Respond. Give this man credit. Could have came out and did nothing or had a subpar performance. But instead, he used game 2. Everything that everybody was saying against him. All the bad things that everybody was saying against him. And he put on a show for New York from start to finish. You can see it here. Our stars went off. Come on now. 30 points nearly apiece. JB, 30 points, 7 rebounds, 9 assists. Bet you they won't say Jalen passed the ball anymore. Guarantee they won't say that no more. And then Karl-Anthony Towns, revenge game. Game that he had to show up in. 31 points, 8 rebounds, 2 blocks. That is what all stars do. He didn't show up in game 2. Absolutely. We talked about it. I absolutely did not like what I saw from that game. I critiqued him, gave him criticism. It was worth it. It was worth it for that. You want to know why anybody says anything to any player? It's to see moments like that. Not saying he needed to hear it from everybody else, but that doesn't hurt your cause, does it? He knew he needed to do better. He heard Tobias Harris out of anybody. Tobias Harris he heard talking. What did you think Karl-Anthony Towns was going to do after hearing Tobias Harris talk on him? Say anything about him. Of course he was going to go off. Of course he was going to do something. And that is exactly what Karl-Anthony Towns did. He showed up, he showed out, and he proved to everybody, don't talk ill about Karl-Anthony Towns. Stop calling him soft and stop telling him that he cannot show up in the big moments. Clearly, he can. Can Tobias? Tobias talked all of that trash and didn't do a thing this game. Didn't show up. I think he scored his first bucket. Might have been his only bucket. I have to check it. in the third quarter. In the second half, that's what you got him for? That's worth the trash talking? Nah. No. What happened was you talked trash. You couldn't back it up. Karl-Anthony Towns didn't say a word. He just said he needed to be more aggressive. He came into this game. The first possession, you could see a different Karl-Anthony Towns, more aggressive, and he came to play. And this Karl-Anthony Towns, if he shows up each and every game during this series, we're winning the rest of the games. I said it. If the Knicks want to win this series and want to do so in dominant fashion, Karl-Anthony Towns has to show up. Has to show up like this consistently and has to dominate his matchup. He did that tonight. And Jalen Brunson, he was also able to dominate tonight in his own way. 30 points, 7 rebounds, and 9 assists. Now, I said it. Jalen Brunson did not have his greatest game in game 2. And even tonight, he didn't have his greatest game to start off the half. He was not that efficient. But what he was doing was finding people. He was finding players. The Knicks as a team were passing that ball extremely well. We all could see it. Let me get some water here before I can't talk anymore. As we said, though, Jalen Brunson, he was able to do exactly what you needed Captain Clutch to do. He didn't force anything. His shot was not going in that first half. So what did he do? Didn't force his game. Instead, he got others involved. Instead, put his body on the line, trying to draw charges, trying to get in Jalen Duran's head. And he was able to get into Duran's head because Jalen Duran made a lot of mistakes. He made a lot of bad fouls. He could not get it done when he needed to get it done. And he was a detriment to that Pistons team in that second half. Not in the third quarter. The third quarter, he did well. But that fourth quarter, he didn't do what he needed to do. The Knicks were able to take advantage of that inside, and that's why New York was able to pull out the victory. And we see it here. Our all-stars came to play, and you need to love it. I loved what I saw from Towns and Jalen Brunson together. Great performance from our stars. They came to play, and it was a reason that we won. Also, shout out to James L. Edwards of The Athletic for breaking this down and giving us the following information about Game 3. According to Edwards, the Knicks pulled out an impressive win, avoided wasting a solid all-around performance, and Cat played fast, got things started. OG and Mikal, their defense was amazing, and they kept things steady. Jalen Brunson closed it out. Captain Clutch, always available. Josh Hart, of course, doing Josh Hart things throughout the entire night. New York up 2-1 in this series. The game leaders, Karl-Anthony Towns, 31 points on 10 of 18 shooting. So he did it extremely efficiently. But look at the line. He got to the line 7 times, and he made all 7 free throws. You gotta love what you saw from Towns. Cade Cunningham, yes, he scored 24 points. Yes, he was able to rebound, get a couple of assists. But look how hard he worked for all of those points. 10 of 25 to score 24 points. Took 25 shots and only gave them 24 points. OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, what they did during this game tonight, they had Cade Cunningham in jail. If it wasn't Mikal on him, it was Josh. If it wasn't Josh, it was OG Anunoby. And I got to give them credit because they're not going to be really mentioned throughout this entire stream. So let's talk about them now. Mikal Bridges, his help defense, his three-point shooting, mid-range, attacking, passing the ball, rebounding the ball, steals, blocks. He did everything. Everything. You want to talk about a complete game? Look no further than Wingstop. OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges together tonight, their defense was able to stop Cade Cunningham, at times able to stop Tim Hardaway Jr., who was lighting us up from three. That's something we're going to talk about. But again, all of those three-point attempts, some of them were open. I understand that, but still, we needed to be able to shut it down. We needed somebody else to step up. OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges played absolutely amazing tonight. Their defense on point. Their help defense, amazing. And not only that, the way they were able to switch on Cade Cunningham. If it wasn't OG, it was Mikal. If it wasn't Mikal, it was OG. And that switching bothered Cade to no end. He tried to get something going. But every time he was inside, he was either being blocked from behind, or Karl-Anthony Towns, he was trying to help, or OG Anunoby, he was fronting him, getting his hand in front of his face. The way the Knicks played Cade tonight is the way they need to play him every game, because that's the way you stop a star. You prevent him from doing anything. And if he's going to do something, he's going to have to work all night long. And that's what happened. I mean, look at the first quarters. Look at the first quarter. Look at the second quarter. Look at this breakdown here. The Knicks scored 33 points in both quarters. The Pistons, conversely, only scored 27 points and 26 points. New York went on a back and forth game throughout. But one constant that we saw was OG Anunoby and Karl-Anthony Towns in that first half. Demon mode was absolutely active. Karl-Anthony Towns, he was able to dominate, not only outside, but inside as well, too. He was shooting the three at an extremely good rate. I think we all saw it, right? We all saw Karl-Anthony Towns not only settling. He didn't settle. He was shooting the three, faking it, getting inside, and he was doing that throughout the entire first half. OG Anunoby, aggressive, shooting the three, attacking, getting to the line, taking contact, making sure the Pistons knew he was not going to back down. The Anunoby you saw in game 2 doesn't exist anymore. And Anunoby, 18 first half points. Talk about going off and stopping Cade in the process, playing elite defense. That was the Anunoby that we saw. We saw it for the first two halves, and it was great basketball to see. And then in the third quarter, credit where credit is due. The Pistons, they came to play. They were able to close out that third in a very, very good way. Now, the Knicks, they were able to battle back like we always do. But the battle, it always goes back and forth, doesn't it? In that quarter, we saw the Pistons battle really well. They were able to come back in large part due to Jalen Duran and everything he was doing inside. But when push came to shove, the Knicks were able to make sure they withstood all of that run, all of the things that the Pistons were doing. If I'm not mistaken, they were able to get their lead in that quarter. But what did the Knicks do? They stood pat. They would not let the game get away from them. And they continued to fight. And that's where the Knicks were able to take control, take over this game, and make sure the Pistons were never able to see another lead again. We were able to take control in the fourth quarter and get buckets when we needed to. Thanks in large part to Captain Clutch, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, and Karl-Anthony Towns. This is playoff basketball. The intensity that we saw from the starting quarter to the end quarter, the back and forth affair, the lack of calls, how physical it was, how tough it was. This is what they mean. This is what they mean when they say playoff basketball. And we saw it on full display tonight when the Knicks took on the Pistons during this game. But we were able to get the victory, and that is what matters the most. The Pistons, they were able to score 33 points in that fourth quarter. They were able to score 30 points in that third quarter. So they definitely came to play. They needed to play. They wanted to get this game. The NBA tried to give them this game, but New York, they understood that if they would, New York understood that if they withstood the storm, that they were going to be able to win this game, stay in this game, and close it out. And they were able to do it. They rallied past and they got this game. Game 3 belongs to New York. And we saw it on full display. Let's go ahead and break down some team stats here so we can make sure we get you guys the full scope of what happened tonight here. So let's first go ahead and break down the utilization of players, the minutes breakdown, and who we saw play overall tonight. So as you can see here again, it really was still a more or less 7-man rotation. Really, you could say a 6-man rotation when you look at the minutes that are happening here. Mikal Bridges, 39 minutes. OG Anunoby, 43 minutes. Karl-Anthony Towns, 41 minutes. Jalen Brunson, 39 minutes. Josh Hart, 41 minutes. That's a lot of minutes from the starters. Your bench, the only person that played more minutes than 10 was Mitchell Robinson, who played 16 minutes. Everybody else, either 9 or below. Campaign, 9 minutes. Miles McBride, 9 minutes. Sham, 4 minutes. Everybody else, they didn't play. DeLon Wright, 0 minutes. Maybe he was part of the rotation, but he didn't see any time at all. No minutes at all, really, for the bench. We really saw a tightened rotation here. Now, maybe we needed to see that tight rotation because really anybody who was in the game, they were not really making the most out of their time. You could say that, but see, here's what I'm going to say. We need to utilize our bench. I'm happy the Knicks were able to get this victory. But looking at that bench scoring again, we got 4 points from Campaign, 2 points from Mitchell Robinson, and 3 points from Deuce McBride, totaling 9 bench points. That's not going to get it done, ladies and gentlemen. That is not going to get the job done. We need the bench to be more involved, to score a little bit more, and honestly, we need them to play a little bit more. But I cannot fault Tom Thibodeau here for the minutes. This is one time where I'm not going to fault Tom Thibodeau for playing the starters the way he did. Because we were in this game. This game was close. It was a back and forth affair. And when the starters were back in the game and we were starting to take a controlling lead in that game, but then the Pistons started to storm back, but then we started to grow the lead again, the starters were in the game. And at that point, we could not switch them out. The adjustment at that point that you needed to make was keep everybody who was already there in the game. The only thing I might have done is play Mitchell Robinson some more minutes, especially in that third quarter. In my opinion, that third quarter where Jalen Duran was dancing inside, doing anything he wanted to do inside, and the Knicks did not have an interior presence, that's where Mitchell Robinson minutes would have been so effective because he would have been able to, at the very least, improve the Knicks' interior defense and stop some of those points inside. I wish that they were able to go to that double big lineup a little bit more in that third quarter. If Robinson was able to play 20 minutes the game before, then why not have him play 22, 23 minutes and have those additional minutes played with Karl-Anthony Towns and OG Anunoby as part of that lineup? Because for me, that's my favorite lineup that I've seen all night long. The defense, the offense, the attacking, the aggression. It is all top notch when you see that lineup out there. And sometimes you have Jalen out there. Sometimes it's Mikal. Sometimes it's Deuce McBride. We see a couple of different players out there with them, but that lineup works not only because of the defense, but because of the pressure. And also, you don't lose the offense because of Karl-Anthony Towns. It was great to see. Those are some of the adjustments I would like to see moving forward, but I cannot fault Tom Thibodeau. If anything, I give him credit for riding with the starters even when it was close, because he knew if he disrupted anything, he could have taken away momentum from that game. The Knicks were leading. We were in control. We had a good lead. And then, of course, the Pistons have to come back into the game. And one of the reasons they came back into the game, and we have to mention it, I have to talk about it, and it's probably going to be there. So you know what? Let's talk about it after we break down the team stats, because it's going to be in the team stats anyways. But again, going back to the bench, we didn't play the bench a lot. We should have. They need more minutes. Absolutely. But you cannot fault Tom Thibodeau for what he did tonight. Playing the starters the way he did, it was the reason we won the game. Keeping Towns in there, the reason we won the game. Towns being aggressive. Jalen Brunson understanding when to attack and be aggressive. Everybody understanding their role. That's the way this Knicks team wins. And by the way, can we mention, going back to the team stats here, can we mention the rebounding? New York was able to keep it close on the boards. The last time we were dominated. This time we kept it close on the boards, and that's another reason we were able to win. We limited our turnovers to 11. The Knicks were able to shoot 37.5% from the field and 46.5% from the field goal, and they shot 37.5% from three and 46.5% from the field. Conversely, the Pistons, they shot 45.3% from the field, 43.2% from three. They had 14 turnovers and 43 rebounds. Now that 3-point percentage, ladies and gentlemen, that is something that we need to discuss immediately. Immediately. You want to know why this game was close? We were up in this game by as much as, I believe, 13 points at most. Maybe mid-14, but I want to say 13 points. I know it was 13 in the second quarter. Then it was a 10-point lead, 11-point lead going into the third quarter at certain points there. So I know we were able to grow it. Obviously, they were able to come back. Then we were able to get an 8-point lead as well, too, going into the fourth. And then that's when the game kept going back and forth. Why did the game keep going back and forth, though? What was the missing element there? 3-pointers, wasn't it? Who had the most open 3-pointers out of the entire Pistons team tonight? Was it not Tim Hardaway Jr.? Timmy had it going since the first quarter. The Knicks should have known that. The problem is we knew it, and we allowed so many open threes, and New York cannot do that. You know what I think about when I think about those open threes? I think about what happened if they did hit them. Would we have won the game, given how close it was, given the fact that the NBA is clearly trying to rob us? I don't know. And that's why I never want to take those chances. We need to be a better defensive team from three, or we are going to lose. And that is a reality that we all have to face. They hit more of their threes, we lose that game. Let's go ahead and break down the full team stats so you guys can understand exactly what I'm talking about here. Where is that? There it goes. Full team stats. As you can see here, breaking it down, the 3-pointers that they took, 3-point percentage, that should run to your eyes immediately. Number one, the Detroit Pistons were able to get up 5 more 3-pointers. They were 16 for 37. The New York Knicks were 12 for 32. So we were still able to get up more 3-pointers that I liked. However, the main issue here was the fact that we allowed the Pistons to get 16 of them up. And I'm not even exaggerating when I say about 10 of them were open looks. They might have missed them, but about 10 of them were open looks. And the amount of threes that Tim Hardaway Jr. made, I think out of all the threes he made, half of them, maybe more than half, were open looks. That can't happen. As a playoff team, we need to do a little bit better. That's the one thing that jumps off the page. The other thing should be in your face automatically, and it's the team assist. But see, it's still not good enough. The team assist is still not good enough. We're at 22, which is better than 15. Absolutely better than that. Okay? But 22 is still not good enough. 25, 26, that's the sweet spot. 30, nobody's beating the Knicks. If the Knicks average 30 team assists for an entire series, they'll blow the other team out. Whoever they're facing, they'll blow that team out. 30 team assists is incredible if they can get to that number. 25 is better than 15, but still not good enough. New York is capable. We're better than that, and we can do better. In that second half, New York went away from their offense a little bit. They weren't as aggressive. They weren't attacking in terms of the way they were attacking in the first half. The way in the first half they were attacking was a lot more cutting and finding the open man. In the second half, I thought they went away from that a little bit and started to go one-on-one. And then when they had somebody go in front of them, then they would pass. That's a little bit different. That's not ball movement. That's penetration and creation, but it starts with ISO play. That's not the way you want to keep the Knicks in a game, because the Knicks weren't in the game that way. We were in the game and winning the game because of what? Player movement, ball movement, and making sure we made the extra pass. Knicks do that. That's how we win the game. And you can clearly see that with the assist numbers being up. But the Knicks and their steals this game and their blocks this game, it doesn't show it because deflections don't count here. You don't see it here. But the way New York was playing defense, and I'm talking about for 48 minutes. No team, by the way, can play elite level defense for 48 minutes. You're going to have a slip. The Knicks had a slip a few times, but what they always managed to do was never let that slip last too long. And that is so crucial to do as a Knicks team. You need to understand when to put the pressure on, when to back off a little bit, and when to understand to pick your moments. And New York was able to do that in the second half, even though the Detroit Pistons were able to make it a game, come back into the game, and try to attack them like nobody else has seen. But as you can clearly see, with the steals, the blocks, and also the deflections, the defense that they were playing, they made the game so hard on every single Pistons player. Deflection, turnover, steal in the passing lane, block shot from behind, block shot in front, help defense. But get this, it was the proper help defense. What do I mean by that? You know what they say about recovery time, right? When you help, maybe some of you don't know, when you help and you're on somebody else and you see somebody else and you want to help, it's about how much time you're away and you can get back. That's called recovery time. And the way you play help defense right is you step, you show that you're a body, but you don't lose sight nor lose your distance from where your other foot is to your player. You don't want to have that. You don't want to have that time in between get a little bit longer. If you see them extend, then you have to back up a little bit. And Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, and credit where credit is due, Karl-Anthony Towns did not over help. They helped enough. Josh Hart still have a problem. He still over helps way entirely too much. Josh Hart should never over help that much. It's ridiculous sometimes. However, I still think that Josh Hart, at times, when he's finding people in transition, faking the three, even though he's open and he should take it. I like tonight that when he did it, we saw a better move happen because he didn't do it. Yes, I wanted him to take more shots. Yes, I wanted him to be more aggressive. But his stat line, if anybody didn't see it, he had 11 rebounds, 9 assists, and 6 points. He almost had a triple-double. How can you be mad at Hart? You can't. You can't be mad at Hart. That's the whole thing. And that's what I love about this Knicks team. Because if it's not one player, it's a collection of players doing a little bit of everything. All of our starters, besides Hart, had 20 plus points. 20 plus points for every single one of the Knicks starters. Bridges, 20. Anunoby, 22. Towns, 31. Brunson, 30. Besides Hart, 4 starters scoring that many points. Take a snapshot of this game. And this is the way the Knicks win every game moving forward. You want to know how to beat the Pistons? You want to know what New York basketball is? You want to know how to make their life a living hell moving forward? This is how you do it. Play defense like this. Allow everybody to eat. Sometimes it's Mikal. Sometimes it's OG. Sometimes it's Karl-Anthony Towns. Sometimes it's the captain. And when it's clutch time, let's call in the big dog. Let's call in Jalen Brunson. And that is exactly what happened. Jalen Brunson in clutch time was one of the main reasons this shot chart looks the way it does inside the paint. Jalen Brunson is a monster. He struggled in that first half. I believe he was 7 for 17 at one point. So he was struggling offensively. Maybe he was finding other players. So he was aggressive in finding other players. Great. But his offense was struggling. But then you look up and he has 30 points, 7 rebounds, and 9 assists. How does he do it? Because he's the captain. And he excels in a place where only few excel. Clutch time. And clutch time is what we saw. Jalen Brunson, Captain Clutch, bucket after bucket, free throw after free throw, defensive standpoint after defensive standpoint. And every time you thought that they were going to get him, that they were going to trap him, that they were going to corner him, that didn't happen. Jalen Brunson was able to step up, handle the moments like we know Jalen Brunson can, and make sure this Knicks team took a commanding lead in this series. 2-1, winning game 3. That's all it took. It was a masterclass from this Knicks team. We need to do better in a lot of areas. Don't get me wrong about that. But when you win, and you win like this, and you win after a team talk so much trash about you, it's time to celebrate. It's time to be happy. And it's also time to talk about what that means. When a team gets this close to beating you and they lose, devastating. Devastating to your pride. And it doesn't mean much. It may not look like much. But seeing 2-1 is very different for your psyche. Because in your head, you're thinking, okay, 2 more games and they win. So that way, when you go into game 4, if they control that series and they dominate and you go down 3-1, what does it do for your confidence? It's shaken. Absolutely shaken. Now, the Pistons actually have a leg to stand on. They could be confident here. They didn't play very well. Cade Cunningham didn't play very well, but they were still in the game. They could look at it like that, but they're not going to look at it like that. You want to know why? Because their fans leave the arena. Their fans leave all of the arenas, especially when they know their team is going to lose. Not loyal. Not built this way. Not the way New York fans. Maybe some other fan bases understand why you did what you did. New York City, Knicks fans, we don't understand what that is. We don't understand that mentality. We're not built that way. Detroit, you are built that way. You know what I'm talking about. I can't say the word, but I'll blank it. Blank made. You guys can finish it in the chat. But everybody in New York knows exactly what I mean when I say blank made. That's how you're built. And you proved it to everybody when you abandoned your team, left them even when they had a chance to win. And because you did that, they didn't have that energy in the building anymore. They lost it. And they felt like they lost the game. But the Knicks knew they still had the game. Rob us as much as you want to. You still couldn't get the job done. The NBA tried to help you. Foul calls tried to help you. All of these weird calls that I've never seen before tried to help you. You did all the things that you could, and you still couldn't get the job done. How does it feel? You feel good? You feel okay? Do you need some help? Don't look at us. Don't look here. We're not giving you nothing besides another beatdown like you deserve. New York runs this, and everybody knows it too. Really quick breakdown again of the shot chart before we go to the chat gang, obviously, guys. The Pistons, they shot really good from 3. As you can see here, the shot chart basically proves it. Most of their shot came from 3, not inside the paint. That was the difference. That's why they basically lost this game. New York, look at the attack. New York, it looks like bullet holes on the New York side of things. New York, by the way, is on the right-hand side. You can see everything that they were doing. All of the attacking inside, all of the shots inside, all of the shots outside. New York was extremely impressive tonight. And that's because they were aggressive And the shot chart, it shows it as well, too. This is New York basketball. This is playoff basketball. We saw it tonight, and we saw when it comes to playoff basketball, the Knicks are built for this. Knicks fans, we're built for this. Detroit fans? Nah, 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 nah. Nah, 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 nah. Hey, hey, hey. You abandoned your team. Nah, 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 nah. Nah, 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 nah. Hey, hey, hey. You're not built for this. Knicks fans, we're built for this. Our time. This is where we shine. Not a postseason team. We don't belong here. Not built for this. Detroit is better. You pick them. What are you saying now? You have anything to say against us now? Are you talking now? You saying anything about New York now? Nope. The only thing that you're saying about the Knicks is 2-1. 2-1. Put some respect on New York. Put some respect on this team. Put some respect on the New York Knicks. And put some respect on our Game 3 victory. We came in to your house, dominated, took over, stole this game, and made sure everybody knew at the end of this game who was the real postseason team and who was the wannabe that was just happy to be here and probably gonna talk a lot more trash later just because. I think we see the level. Knicks, Pistons, that's where it is. That's where it's always going to be. And that's where New York showed you it is tonight. Believe that, because I do. And now everybody who watched on national TV knows it too. Who's soft? Who's soft? Let me do that again. It cracked there a little bit. Who's soft? Who's soft? Who can you guard? Who can you stop? I'll wait. I'll wait. Don't keep me waiting for too long, though. Oh, wait. I'm still waiting. Because it's Knicks and no one else. Detroit, you learned the lesson. And I'm glad you did. Without further ado, let's go to the chat, gang. See what you guys have to say. See you guys lighting up the comments anyway, so let's go ahead and do that. My goodness, have I been going on for a while already. You guys must love these post-game shows because it's almost 11:30, and where are you? Here, watching me go off about this team. That's why I love Knicks fans, love this community, and I love each and every one of you guys. Thank you guys for showing up. You guys already know. Oh, well, I'm seeing the comments. So I'm reading it right now. Rob Chin says, Troy, you got one crack per episode. Thank you. I appreciate that. Listen, I abuse this voice daily for a lot of you guys. So please, if I get one crack, you got to at least give me that. I appreciate you, Rob. Farhat says, Troy, were you following the NFL draft? I was following it. My Giant fans are crying right now. Listen, man, you guys can still become Jet fans if you want. Not saying we did any better, but you guys can be Jet fans if you want to. I got to check out the full draft. Obviously, I've been covering the Knicks game basically all night. I've been doing live tweets and everything. If you guys didn't know, by the way, I'm on TikTok now, Instagram. We got YouTube shorts coming out. I mean, the content is severe. I am on a mission to hit every platform as hard as I can. Even right now, I'm thinking about the content that's going to come out for tomorrow's TikToks. So if you're not following me there, follow me on TikTok. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram. I drop content all the time. And it's content that not necessarily everybody sees on the YouTube side. So I don't want you guys to miss out. So definitely go on that side. Make sure you're following me there. And make sure you hit that like and subscribe button over here so you never miss any content that we drop on YouTube. Because you love our YouTube audience as well too. Going to the chat again. Jay says, sup, Coach Troy? My guy, Jay. I go back and forth with Jay all the time. Me and Jay have like this back and forth affair that we do with Tom Thibodeau and this Knicks team. If you listened, if you were here, I gave your very, very good coach a lot of praise for keeping the starters in when they were going to keep the starters in. Oh, by the way, guys, I'm going to be doing a series as we're talking. I have a little bit stuff on my phone here. Now that I'm doing a lot more content and whatnot, I want to make sure when I do my lives, not only am I providing more content for you, but I'm also providing more content that I can utilize on other platforms. So to that end, I'm not saying it's going to be every single live, but I have a list. I have a list of topics on my phone that I've written down that I want to go over that I knew that I might not have been able to touch during the live, but I want to make sure I gave each and every one of them a little bit of time. And that way, it's basically like a rundown of all the issues or things that I wanted to hit that maybe I wasn't able to hit for the game. So we're going to do that maybe in 10 minutes. So we'll just give this a little bit of time here. Let's see. Josh says, Paul Reed was about to get rocked by Cat. That's why he had to be held back. I'm going to be talking about that Karl-Anthony Towns, Paul Reed thing in my final breakdown when I get to it in a little bit. Bunny says, when I saw their fans leaving, I knew we were built different. What is that? How could you abandon your fan base? How could you abandon your team? Abandon. And why I say abandon your fan base, who does that look bad on? It looks bad on all the Pistons. On all of them. We know it looks bad on them. Ridiculous. I really can't believe it. I really, really can't. It's shocking to me. Absolutely shocking to me. We're not the same. Let's see here. Lionel says, Nelly Nell, yes, bro. If he ever adds this blank to his routine, it's over. It's over. I'm trying to understand what that comment was about. Let's see. Oh, Lionel says that's what happens when you talk so much feces. Let's go effing Knicks. Absolutely. That is the energy that we need. The energy that I need from you guys as well, too. You see all that trash talking. And by the way, for anybody who thinks that I'm going to stop being happy or hype or whatever the case may be, I can't. That's just who I am. I'm on volume 100 when I talk about this team. I love them too much. Let's go Knicks forever. New York forever is real for me. I live this. I breathe this. I love this. New York is here. 2-1 lead. 2-1 lead. Let's go. Jim says, let's stay humble. Good win. Go Knicks. We can stay humble, and we can do all that humbleness tomorrow. Tonight, after all the trash talk they're doing, the last thing I want to be is humble. I don't like Detroit. I don't rock with Detroit, and I am happy Detroit is miserable. I am happy their fan base is broken. I am happy that they are in the doldrums right now. I am happy that they won't come back from this. I am just happy about their misery. Does that make me a bad person? Does it make me a bad guy that I enjoy the misery of the Detroit Pistons? Man, maybe it does. Oh, well. I don't care. Call me evil. Call me a villain. Call me the bad guy. I don't care. Call me Razor Ramon if you want, though. Come on, Chico. I'll throw my toothpick in your face. I don't care. It's New York or no one else. This is our town. Have I not said it enough? I don't care who you are. I don't care what fan base you're a part of. It's Knicks or nothing. Do I got to create a shirt that says it? Knicks or nothing. Let's see. Nelly says, after we beat the Detroit Pistons, next people will say we're not on the Celtics level. They're saying we're not on the Celtics level already. They're saying that already. So what are they going to say now? Come on now. Oh, we got my guy Odd Brothers in here. Odd Brothers says, my man live. Dude, I watch your stuff all the time. I watch your videos on a daily basis. Well, first, let me tell you, Odd Brothers, thank you. Thank you for the support. You know I can't do any of the things that I do for any of the content that I create without the support of the fan base. So fans like you make sure that people like me get to do this for a living. And for that, I cannot thank you enough. Appreciate you. Thank you for the support, man. Carl Knight says, did we just see Jalen Brunson turn hell tonight? Listen, man. JB doing that is different. It's different, man. And that's all I got to say about that. 37-9, when he was struggling for most of that game, it's different. Yeah, it's different. Let's see here. Not I, Breham says, I love watching your videos, especially when you talk about Giannis. You see? Right there. Nobody come after me anymore. I see you guys already. Don't do another Giannis video. Hold that for the offseason. It's not me. It's not me. I go to where the reports go. If there is a report tomorrow that says Giannis wants to join the Knicks, there will be a video about Giannis to the Knicks. That's just how I operate. But because of who I am, there's likely going to be another video out about this game, about the postseason, about the playoffs. You'll get a little bit of everything. Maybe one video doesn't meet your fancy. Maybe you don't like one of the videos that I drop. Okay, not everything's going to be for everybody, but maybe you'll like the next video or this video or that video. Why do I do all of the content that I do? Because I know certain people like the trade. Certain people like the offseason talk. Certain people love the postseason talk. Everybody likes a little bit of everything. So let's do a little bit of everything, give you guys a little bit of everything, and allow the chips to fall where they may. That's where I am. And the biggest thing that I do is context. Sometimes reports come out and nobody gives them context. Kurt Walker says, Jalen Brunson came clutch under pressure. He did. He did. Carl Knight says, Troy, to be honest, I didn't watch most of this game because of the NFL draft. Hey, no problem there. I mean, a lot of people's focus was a little bit shifted, so I can't blame you if you were not watching the game. But a little bit selfishly, I have to say, if you didn't watch the game and you're just watching me, please watch the replay. You must. You have to watch it. You have to watch the replay. Watching the replay is so important. It's going to show you why this Knicks team won, why they were so dominant, what they were doing in that fourth quarter, what they were doing in that third quarter. We got to remember the third quarter was an up and down affair. The Knicks didn't start that third quarter strong. The Pistons were able to come back. They were able to come into this game, but the Knicks were able to battle back, take over again, and then go back up by, I think, 10 or 8 points at one point in that quarter. And then go into the fourth, I believe, up 8. And then after that, they were able to come back into the game once the Pistons cut it close. Back and forth affair, but we made the right calls when we needed to. And that's always the point. Let's see here. Dougie says, shout me out, Troy. I love your channel. I just had a baby. She's repping Knicks too. Let's go Knicks, baby. Stay hyped, Troy. We love you. Worldwide, Miami, Florida. Hey, let's go. I appreciate that. And the baby, thank the Lord that your baby is healthy and safe and already a Knicks fan. If I'm hype, if your baby is listening to me, they're going to grow up hype. So I advise you, turn the volume down just a little bit so you don't wake up your child, because my child already knows when daddy is recording, you have to put the ears the hands over your ears because it's going to get a little bit loud, but that really, really warms my heart. Thank you very much for the support, and I love the fact that you keep up with the channel and watch the videos. Shout out to you and your brand new family. Very happy for you. Let's see here. Corey says, Troy, what kind of adjustments will the Knicks make in game 4? Before I answer that, I wanna say something to that. When it comes to the adjustments that the Knicks will make, the one adjustment that I know they won't make, but that they should make, 3-point shooting. Was that the only one that saw Tim Hardaway Jr. tonight open 4 or 5 times from 3? Can't see that. Our 3-point defense is very bad. We also need to find a way to take more advantage of what the Pistons are doing inside. The Pistons are very undisciplined. They don't play defense inside more than they swat. They hit hands a lot. So if you penetrate, you're likely going to catch them on foul calls a lot if the refs are seeing what they should be seeing. Sometimes you can have a game like game 2 where nothing makes sense, but hopefully it doesn't happen though. Let's see here. Corey says, Troy, you are faithful. Love you, bro, always. Hey, I appreciate that, man. Love and respect. That is equal, and it goes back to you. Thank you so much for that. Let's see. Dougie says, thank you, Troy. You made our night with that shout out. Blessings to your kids and family. I appreciate that. Glad I made your night. You made my night for coming up here. Tell me about your new one and also supporting the Knicks. And we won. What could not be better than that? We won. We took down this Pistons team. All the disrespect. Where you at now? Huh? You talking now? Tobias! Tobias! Is he there? Does anybody hear him? Yo! Tobias! Yo! He's quiet. Kind of like he was during the game, right? Quiet. Very much so. Carl Knight says, remember when Beasley was blowing kisses to the MSG crowd after they beat us back in the regular season? I bet he ain't blowing kisses now. Nah, he's not blowing nothing. I mean, if this was not if I didn't want this video to be monetized, I could say a lot. I could say a lot. The internet's not ready for rated R recap. One day I'll have a no filter stream so everybody can really hear how I feel about this team. One day. Let's see here. Corey says, Troy, I'm gonna sleep good tonight. So am I. I definitely am. Rob says, and it's sad, Tobias is a New Yorker. No, he's not. No, he's not. I don't care. I don't care. Native, whatever. He could grow up here all he wants to. All the things he was just saying about New York, no. You didn't have to say any of that. You could have said, tough series, I'll do what I need to do, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. You didn't do that. You called our team soft. You don't get a pass. You called us soft. You called us soft. You don't get a pass. Troy, Knicks went to the basket and didn't go 3 crazy. Kept putting points on the board consistently. That says Johnny Davis. Johnny, you're not wrong. That's what they did. They were able to do that. I wish they were able to at least generate more open threes. But the thing was, they didn't force anything. They let the action come to them. They were playing within the flow of the offense. Everybody was touching the ball. Not as much in the third quarter where the Knicks were playing more ISO ball. But in that fourth quarter, definitely in the first half, way more ball movement. And that was the difference. That's why the Knicks were up big. That's why the Knicks were up 13 points. The Knicks go up that many points because of how they move the ball. So it's very simple. The game plan is easy. Move yourself. Move the ball, lock in on defense, you'll beat the Pistons. That's it. And stopping Cade Cunningham obviously had a lot to do with it, but Cade was in jail for a lot of that game because of Wingstop. And we have to acknowledge that, whether people like it or not. All right. I think that's going to be the last comment I have here, because I know a lot of people are doing a couple of things. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do the segment that I call the rundown. The rundown segment, guys. And I don't know how long it's going to be. I'm going to basically talk till I can't talk no more. The rundown segment is where I take a couple of topics that I have on my list, topics that likely I wasn't able to get to for the show for whatever the reason may be. Maybe I'm talking about a few things that slips my mind, talking to you guys live, whatever the case may be. I don't get to a topic that I really wanted to get to. This allows me to get to it in the same way, gives you a little bit more content, and also keeps the stream going just a little bit longer. Without further ado, let's go ahead and break that down really quickly. So I start off the show by saying it, but let's saying it again. The NBA absolutely tried to rob the Knicks for this game. There is no other way to look around it. There's no other way to talk about it. The Knicks were not even given the courtesy of the clock being reduced a few seconds for a rebound that we all clearly saw. A blunder that was not made by us, but made by the home team. They had the miscalculation of the shot clock. All of that happened because of them. The horn rang because of them. Why do the Knicks get penalized 0.5 seconds, which was already on the clock, to allow Detroit even more time to make a shot? Potentially, if they caught the ball well and they made a three, they could have won the game because of that blunder that had nothing to do with New York. And the Knicks are trying to do the right thing. We are at the free throw line. Clearly, we don't want to make the free throw to escape that exact same possession. So what does Jalen Brunson do? He purposely misses the free throw, and he does it well. But because the opposing team rings the bell too fast, they get the possession back anyways. How does that happen in a modern NBA game? And then after it happens, in a day and age with instant replay, we see everything. We hear when the bell is rung, which I think is about 0.2 seconds. And they still, after review, they reviewed this and gave them 0.5 anyways. Didn't matter. The Knicks won the game. All good. I am happy that New York was able to pull out the victory. But what if we weren't? What if we didn't win the game? What if the Knicks lost that game because of that call? These are the things that we need to start discussing. These are the things that need to be called out. This is why the NBA needs to be called out. This should have never been allowed. We had instant replay, a number of referees. Everybody in that arena saw the same exact thing, and we still allowed that to happen. I love the last minute replay. I love the last minute 2-minute reports that they always do after games, where they review the last 2 minutes, they check, and they see if any issues went wrong. I want to see what that report says when they do it for this game. The NBA made a mistake. The NBA tried to rob the Knicks. The NBA tried to give the game to Detroit. Because how else do you describe doing that after you review it? You reviewed it, and you still let it happen. That's not an error at that point. That's a choice. You chose to give Detroit an extra brand new possession like they did the entire, you gave them that possession, and like they did the entire game, they squandered it. They lost out on the opportunity. Jalen Duran threw that threw that ball like a turnover, threw that ball, turned it over, and it was all they wrote. They lost the game anyways, but we cannot have this become a standard in the NBA. What they just did, how many teams in the NBA are going to do that now? How many teams in the NBA are going to run what they did now because they see that other people are allowing it to happen? Other referees are allowing other teams to get away with, other referees are allowing NBA teams to get away with this, allowing them to get a new extra possession, and nothing's happening. That team is not being penalized. What are we going to do about this? This actually might make the NBA do some type of rule rewrite where they have to rewrite a rule or add a rule here that prevents this from ever happening again. This is what's probably going to have to happen because this is where we are right now. You can't allow things like this to continue. A rule rewrite, a new rule being added, something like that is going to happen because what happened tonight against the Knicks was an absolute travesty. Not acceptable. Robbery. Near robbery. They nearly stole the game from us. They nearly gave the Pistons the game. We cannot allow for this. I will not stand for this. And a change needs to happen because New York can never allow something like this to continue. Another thing I want to talk about. We talk about Wingstop, so we can skip that really quick. Let's see here. I talk about a lot of these things, actually. I'm happy about that. Oh, yeah. Last two things, right? Trash talk. Excuse me. Maybe I've been out of the loop for a few months. Maybe. I don't think so, but maybe. Who the hell is Paul Reed? Who is Paul Reed? Who is Paul Reed? Mitchell Robinson would body Paul Reed. Fake tough guy. You think you would do anything to Mitchell Robinson? I saw that entire sequence. I saw what he tried to do. Did anybody else see it? I'm probably going to replay this part when I talk about it. But everybody remembers it. Close your eyes if you don't. He was trying to push Mitchell Robinson. Trying to push him and couldn't budge him. Mitchell Robinson barely has his hands up and trying to move him away. Not trying to get into anything physical. But Paul Reed looking like he wants to get into anything physical. Then Karl-Anthony Towns, credit to my guy Towns, comes in and pushes fake tough guy. Pushes fake tough guy, Paul Reed. And then Reed loses his mind. But why does Reed lose his mind? Look back at the tape. He loses his mind because there's about, 50 people in between him, Mitchell Robinson, and Karl-Anthony Towns, and even Towns. You can see him during that play. Come on, man. Come on. What are you doing? What are you doing, Reed? Who are you? You know you're not this guy. You know you're not a tough guy. So why are you, You know you're not a tough guy. So why are you trying to be tough? Why are you trying to act tough? Why are you doing all of these things? We know you're not that type. And yeah, sure, he had an okay game. I'll give you that. A couple of blocks, a couple of points inside, running the floor well. He gave them very good minutes without Isaiah Stewart. There, I gave you your credit. That's where it stops. You fake tough guy. You want to go at Mitch? Mitch would body you. Who are you? Who is Paul Reed? Answer this question, ladies and gentlemen. Who is Paul Reed? What are you doing? You got a death wish? You want to try doing this against Robinson? Against Towns? You know what? Do it again. Do that again. Do that fake tough dot. Do that fake tough guy thing again. Because clearly you think you're tough. We know you're not tough. And every time Detroit tries to act tough, what happens? The Knicks respond by showing them in game, where it matters, by the way, who's the real tough team. I said it before. This game was going to be different because New York was going to be more physical because they heard all of the talk about how the Knicks were not physical. not tough, not the team they needed to be looking back at game 2. Nobody's saying that for game 3. Not a soul is saying that about this Knicks team for game 3. They're just saying what we all already know, what we all saw. The Knicks are aggressive. They're tough. They have the better roster. They have the better talent. And maybe, just maybe, the Pistons should shut their mouth. Shut your mouth. Shut up. Shut your dang mouth. Shut your mouth. What has talking done for you? Malik, what has it done for you? Look at your game. You look like you got humbled again. Asur Thompson, what has it done for you? All I see from you game after game after game is riding the bench because you're in foul trouble. Tobias Harris, what has it done for you? What have you done? What did you do? You talked a lot. I think the Knicks are soft. We got a game plan. Was your game plan for you to do nothing? Was that your game plan, Tobias? Tobias! Calling Tobias! You no-showed. You no-showed your team. Just like your fan base just like your fan base no-showed you and your entire roster when they left. They left you. You know, kind of like how you left your team tonight. Your team needed you. Your team needed every single point you could give. And what did you do? Nothing. And what did you talk? All of that trash talk. You see, that's the problem with talking trash. You eventually have to back it up. And Tobias Harris, as long as I've known him, usually doesn't talk trash. And there's a reason he doesn't talk trash. He can't back up a thing. Not a thing. And what did he do tonight? He didn't back up a thing. Nothing. Not one thing, nothing. Not one thing, nothing. He backed up nothing. Sorry, huh? Tobias, that you? Huh? Detroit, huh? Huh? Oh, we're not saying anything. We're quiet today. You mean like how when Captain Clutch hit that shot and silenced Caesars Arena in that fourth quarter? You mean like that? You mean like how the Knicks walked into your house, in your arena, and dominated you in certain parts of that game? Stole that game away from you, even though the NBA clearly wanted to give it to you? Were you paying attention for all of that? Because I was. And now that we took this one, it'll hurt a lot less when we take the next one. So don't worry. This one stings. But when you're used to losing, it doesn't hurt that much more. And we're going to make sure the Pistons get used to... I'm so mad right now. And we're going to make sure that the Pistons get used to losing because they are going to lose a lot more times moving forward. If my math is right here, they're going to lose about 2 more times. And we are going to make sure that happens in not only dramatic fashion, but amazing fashion as well, too. As our stars put it on your head again and make sure you understand this is where the Knicks thrive. We're built for this. We've shown you we're built for this. And now you know what everybody else knows. The Knicks are that team that you don't want to see in the postseason. And we're showing you why. Because we have so many weapons to utilize. And if it's not Brunson, it's Cat. And if it's not Cat, it's OG. And if it's not OG, it's Mikal. And if it's not Mikal, it's almost triple-double Josh Hart. What I'm trying to say is, stop running your mouth, or we're going to stop it for you with performances like this. Now, you think I would be done, and I am almost done, but there is one more thing. One more thing that I got to talk about. Yo, Jalen. Nah, not Brunson. Duran. You realize the size difference between you and Jalen Brunson, right? You were talking a lot of trash to him, looking down at him, talking a lot of smack, like you were going to do something. And you did. Credit to you. You did something. Bravo. You got into foul trouble. You got into foul trouble because you tried to take a shot at the captain. There's a line I heard before. Can't remember where I hear it right now. If you take a shot at the king, you best not miss. And you missed a lot. You guys missed a lot. And you angered Jalen Brunson throughout that entire game. You chanted F you, Jalen. You booed him every time he touched the ball. The fans over there were talking trash to him all game long. Until the fourth quarter, when until the fourth quarter, when Captain Clutch Mode was activated, and then you couldn't talk anything anymore. And then you did exactly what you always do when you get proven wrong. You run away. You run away until it's safe to come back. Until it's safe to pop your head up and everything's okay. It's not safe right now. Keep your head down because Jalen's out here and he's not missing. He's not missing. You guys missed. Don't do that to Jalen. Jalen is already an elite postseason player. Is it smart to egg on an elite postseason player? I don't think it is. I think it's very foolish to do that. I think Jalen Duran is very foolish of a player to do that against the captain in Jalen Brunson. But it's okay. That's your choice, your decision. I'm not going to hate on that. You want to pick on somebody half your size? By all means. It worked out for you, didn't it? Oh, wait, it didn't. You lost the game. You were in foul trouble. And Jalen Brunson was still Captain Clutch when it mattered the most. Still had 37-9 in a game 3 that mattered the most in this entire series. We stole this game. We took this game. And now you guys are crying about a game that you wish you had while the Knicks are flexing on a win we know we have. That's the difference. And you're going to see this level of difference again when we go to game 4 and we go back to Little Caesars Arena and we dominate again. And the reason we'll do it again is because we know we can. And that will always be the most important thing. This was the first edition of what I like to call the rundown. Now, this will likely be cut up to a lot of different clips that will go up on the channel for all of you guys to consume. So thank you guys for that. But if you like this particular portion of the show, you like the rundown, you like how unfiltered and raw this is, you let me know that in the comments, and I'll be sure to start doing this after each and every post-game stream. So that way you guys have some more comments, I have some more content, and we all are winning at the exact same time. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I know I went on a little bit longer than necessary in today's live. However, I went to a different topic today and I did a different set of things that I normally don't do. So I hope you guys appreciated it and enjoyed it. But again, this is the end of the post game. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and joining this show. And like I said, The Knicks take game 3. We win this game. Now our sights are set on Sunday, an afternoon affair against the Pistons for game 4. And New York will be looking to win that game too. But what about you guys? What do you think about the Knicks winning this game 118 to 116 and taking a 2-1 lead in this series? Let me know in the comments section below, guys, because honestly, I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below. And of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knick fans, take care of yourself, your families, and each other. Peace and love.